Good evening, everyone. It is Saturday, February 14th, 2026, and we have some information to go over in today's video about something that's going on now and some information that we'll be using for the future into later this month as we are likely staring down an active pattern to get towards the middle of the month and then finish the month off. So we're going to go over a lot of information for this storm that you're seeing play out on your screen right now. This is live. This is the last hour of reflectivity, so you can see a line of storms is making its way into Louisiana now that is posing risks as we speak. So we'll go over all of those as well as talk about some things for the future in this month. So like this video if you like it, subscribe if you've not done so already, and please leave a comment down below where you're watching from. Be greatly appreciated. So we're going to start this off by kind of going over the foundation of all of this, and that is watches, warnings, and advisories. I will zoom in a little bit to this, but right now we're going to just kind of take a broad look. So we work our way from the west here. You can see a lot of winter storm warnings up lining the higher elevations of areas of California for just a lot of frozen precipitation falling. We do have winter storm watches in this kind of dark blue color. And you might be thinking, are there winter storm warnings out in areas of the central northern plains? No, these are all red flag warnings for fire weather conditions. These are fire weather watches. So a lot of dry, windy weather in this area could lead to an enhanced risk of fire, wildfire that is. So we can look in here. We'll zoom in a bit. So you can see we have a risk area. I have a few things on. I have the SPC risk area and watches, warnings, and advisories. So we take a look at watches, warnings, and advisories right now. I don't have the radar on. We'll go over that in a second. But you can see that there are just severe thunderstorm warnings, special weather statements, and even a tornado warning down here south of Galveston, Texas, that is moving offshore now. And this is ongoing right now. We have special marine warnings in some areas, and yeah, there's a special weather statements that have been kind of off and on back in the kind of back here in this area, and these are mainly for hail. They're issuing new warnings as we speak, but please be careful if you're in areas of Louisiana, as this is a strong line of storms. So we also have, if you kind of focus off of that for a second, in fact, you're going to focus off of it so much I'm turning it off. Just look at the storm prediction center risk here. You can see this has changed a little bit. They've kind of extended this slight risk all the way down the Texas coastline. Not all the way, but a good bit of the way, almost down to Corpus Christi here. Now this part of the event will be over relatively soon as this line moves offshore, but you can see a lot of areas of Louisiana, southern Mississippi under this slight risk. That's a level 2 out of 5, a level 1 out of 5 marginal risks around that. Not by a lot though, and if we break this down, there's a 5% risk of a tornado within 25 miles of any given location in this brown area you see right here. So you can look at that. You can look at the wind. There's a 15% risk of winds exceeding 50 knots or greater within 25 miles of any given location. And then we also have a little, well, actually, they've just removed the hail threat. So we don't have any hail threat with this anymore. Um, so we change it back to this, and we can look one day forward. So we go one more day. This is for tomorrow, our Sunday, and we do have a marginal risk in this green, kind of extending from the New Orleans area up through the Midlands of South Carolina, maybe down to the Savannah Beaufort area, and then down through areas near Tampa Bay, Florida. And you can see this yellow, that is a slight risk. That is in the center of that, mainly the Florida Panhandle here, southern areas of Georgia. So we break this down by type here, and there's a 5% risk of a tornado within any 25 miles of any given location. Our wind threat looks like this, 15% max, and then hail threat is just kind of a very small risk in the middle of it all. And they have actually introduced a marginal risk area for stuff moving ashore for areas of California. So something to watch. So we have all of this. Now we're going to look here. I'm going to reload this because it's likely going to need to be reloaded. So we're going to move this a few different times. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So this is for northern Louisiana. That's where we're looking here. And you can see this line of storms. This is the last hour or so of observations here. And you can see as this line moves through, watches and warnings get issued. You can see a small red box issued here. That is a tornado watch that is in place, and you can see these little red boxes are tornado warnings. Yellow are severe thunderstorm warnings, and this is the last frame we have. These are sometimes delayed by a few minutes, but are either way very active, and we can move this down areas to the south a little bit, and you see how that slight risk that is down for these areas will really become kind of invalid very soon as this moves offshore. So in the next update cycle, they will likely remove it. Is a tornado warning down south of Galveston, so please pay attention. I'm not showing you guys a closer look because there have been issues with me showing you guys the radar. I'm going to show you this. This is the Galveston radar. Uh, and what I'm going to show you here is some wind stuff. It's really hard to see. I have to make a decision here. I don't think I can show you this because it's so hard to see. The reason I'm not showing you my radar app is because it was really making the computer struggle. I'm not really sure why, but the screen recording, you may have noticed that in yesterday evening's video, really struggled to do that. But I'll do it like this. Can you guys see that the line is kind of wavy? Anywhere where it notches inward is an area where rotation is present. So there's a bunch of little areas of rotation, all of which could put down a brief spin-up tornado at any point. So please pay attention to that. This right here is what's driving this entire event. You can see the radar is underlaid here, but what you're looking at is the mid-level jet, the 500 millibar jet, and it's digging down pretty far south here. You can see that there's a jet streak here. I'm going to go ahead and run the drawing tool, but you can see it kind of dips down, and there's a jet streak. And the orientation of this trough it looks very favorable to me right now, with a lot of these areas kind of in the exit region where you have some defluence in the mid levels, very subtle amounts of it, but just very strong shear all across this area out ahead of the main axis. Looks very good, favorable for severe weather right now. When it comes to instability, we do have some to work with, and this environment is mostly uncapped as of right now. This will change with time. What I mean by that is you see this shaded color and these kind of teals and these blues. That is just negative instability. That's a storm has to overcome that before it can really be explosive. So we see some building in here, but most of the environment where these storms are is uncapped right now, which is why they are so strong and not having any issues as of now. But I do expect that more of that convective inhibition will work in. Although this does not say there'll be a whole lot working in. Typically, after the sun goes down, you do get some of that to work in. So I kind of don't believe that. Just to put my own opinion in there. We can look at other things, but I really just show you the amount of shear we have. For whatever reason, the contours aren't coming up everywhere, but we have as much as 55, 60 knots of shear all across this area. So more than enough for organized convection. We can look at the low-level jet, and it is really getting going out ahead of this line of storms. Areas of Louisiana, southern Arkansas, up to 45 knots, just less than a mile above your head. This is the wind in that layer, and it's kind of screaming for this layer. So this will enhance tornado potential anywhere, honestly, where you see these winds the most out of the south. So kind of right in there is where the tornado potential will be maximized over the next little bit of time. You can see this kind of increases and moves off to the east. So a supportive tornado environment will remain for the next couple of hours. And to sum all of that up, we can look at the supercell composite parameter. I don't think this is doing the best job highlighting where overlapping ingredients are right now. You can see where these values increase. That's just stronger severe storms possible. This combines shear, cape, all of the things, and spits out a single composite parameter you can view. I think this might be a little bit more like this. I don't really know why it looks like that. We do have pretty solid looking ingredients out here. If we look at what they actually are, I don't need you guys. I don't know what's going on with this. I don't need you guys to understand this. I don't know why it was not working. Yeah, I mean there's not a lot of instability. There just isn't. The sun has gone down already, so these storms will start to struggle, I think. But we got a few more hours of likely intense convection to work through before we get there. So we move from here. We're going to show you one model, and just here for the southeast for this storm system. So this is the HRRR starting off right about now, and you can see this line of storms makes its way through. You can notice in areas of Louisiana and southern Mississippi where it remains the strongest. That's where we have that slight risk So this really does not fall apart until we get into the morning hours, and it kind of becomes more broken line of storms. You can see it's just a lot of rain to the north, areas of, say, Tennessee and northern Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. Just a lot of heavy rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder. And all of this stuff up here in the kind of upper deep south is just stratiform rain. Very efficient at producing rain, and localized areas could get as much as, say, 2 to 3 inches. I really think we could see that much happen. And you can see, and we're making our way, this is getting into tomorrow afternoon, we still have a somewhat organized line of convection making its way through the deep south. So we need to watch this for severe potential. We have a slight risk up. I don't think it's going to upgrade, but we do have a slight risk. And I mean, there's even, let's say, like a little like line segment of storms make its way near Columbia, South Carolina. So these work their way kind of to the north a little bit, and this gets out of our hair, and it's gone by the time we're waking up on Monday. So we look at that, and that is it. Now I'm going to have to resize this a little bit. I'm just going to show you a few things here. This is also the HRRR model. This is starting off tomorrow morning, and this is temperatures at the surface. So we're just kind of going to look for the most highlighted surface temperatures. I mean, yeah, you can see as we make our way through the afternoon in areas of Georgia and Florida, we do have up to, say, the mid 70s when it comes to temperature. So that is very much favorable for severe weather. But that corridor is pretty small. And you can see, say, northern areas of Georgia along the southern Appalachians, northern South Carolina. See how these winds are kind of pointed out of the north? It's because we have cold air damming. Our temperatures will be cool up here where I live, and may not even hit 50 tomorrow. So it's an interesting phenomena there. But you can see these temperatures kind of get batted down by the rain, and it cools down. So we see that. Nothing looks crazy about that. We can look at wind gust here. And so, yeah, there's localized areas here where we have, even this is offshore, for example, but this is in knots as well. Upper 40s knots, 50 knots. I mean, that's severe criteria. And yeah, this moves offshore. Everything gets out of our way. So as for instability through tomorrow, this is a conservative way of looking at it because this is mixed layer Cape, not most unstable Cape. So they look a little different, but I'm going to show you this because it's conservative. We do have a little tongue of instability making its way up into these states here in the deep south. So I mean, there's something there, not a whole lot, but up to several hundred joules per kilogram, even in areas that say central Georgia. So that would be supportive if storms fire. So we go from there, and this is what the accumulated max wind gust could look like from this storm based on the HRRR model. A lot of this is kind of ongoing now, but we do have pockets here of 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour. And then you can see this kind of highlighted area here as well. Even though nothing crazy is showing up here, there will be locally higher gusts than this. So please pay attention to that. So we move on. The reason I'm showing you this right here is because we do have a kind of last minute snow trend that has shown up over the last 12, 18, maybe 24 hours for the far northern areas of this storm to change over to snow. We'll look at the snow amounts here in a second. But as we're ending tomorrow, getting into the evening hours after the sun has gone down, snow starts to fall in areas of Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and it expands a little bit. It gets into areas of New York, Long Island, and then gets over. It kind of breaks apart, but this could make it as far east as even Boston. So it's a kind of a last minute thing here. So that rolls the way through, and this is what the Euro says. I mean, there is a 2.5 inch snowfall showing up here in areas of central New Jersey and extreme kind of Philadelphia areas over to near Trenton. So this is very interesting. Very quick hitting, be out of there soon, but it could drop several inches of snow. We can look at a different ratio, and it doesn't change a whole lot. So I think our ceiling for this is about 2.5 inches. Now, if you change this to over, I'm probably going to have to, yeah, it's going to do this. So I'm going to have to change this over to what the Euro Ensemble says. The Euro Ensemble agrees. This combines 51 members, and you still have over a 2-inch mean from Philadelphia over to the Trenton area of New Jersey. So that's a strong signal. I mean, we're very, very close to this. So this isn't something you'd really dive too deep into. So we go from there. This is the National Blend of Models for precipitation This model run was several hours ago, so most of this color back in here has already fallen or is falling right now. And you can see it kind of gets streaky, but in this slight risk area where the most convection will be, you see 1 inch showing up in areas, so I think we could well see that. And then it kind of increases up into areas of the eastern seaboard states here, areas of Tennessee. We do have this consistent gap show up in northern areas of Alabama, so something to watch. If we were to switch this over to the HRRR model, the latest full run of it, well, I say that. Let's do this, and we can pull it out towards the end. So, I mean, in areas of Arkansas, we have upwards of 5 inches showing up, and this is falling now and will continue falling. I think we could see that, and it kind of gets streaky, but we have, I mean, these localized areas, I think it does well showing you could get several inches if you get under these training bands here. So moving on from that, we're going to show you a few different model runs, just kind of for the longer range. Starting all this off this coming Wednesday, February 18th, we do have consistently, we have for days, a low pressure forms up in the northern plains, and we have a very sprawled out area of even heavy snow in areas of the Great Lakes region, the far northern plains, and there's rain to the south. So, I mean, yeah, it gets started as early as Tuesday evening of next week, and then kind of straddles the U.S.-Canada border. This is the European run, so um, don't take it as gospel, but it's under 100 hours. It's been showing something like this pretty consistently. So it does that. There's another low pressure just after it. This is the 19th, giving snow to even areas in Nebraska and southern South Dakota. So something to watch, not a forecast though. And then there's a lot of rain down here, areas to the south. So we move this on, kind of sprawls out. There's heavy snow in the U.S.-Canada border again. And this precipitation in the deep south could be severe weather. So we need to watch that. Excuse me. We go past that. And of course, we're going to have to change runs. This is the 18Z. So I have to, yeah, we'll start this here. So yeah, it did something pretty similar, although the run just before this was a little bit more aggressive with that snow along the U.S.-Canada border. So something interesting there. Afterwards, we might have a few day stretch where nothing really happens, and then we get another low pressure rolling through the Great Lakes region, getting into not this coming Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that, and there's a lot of moisture in the deep south. Then there's another kind of big amped up low that rolls through the northern plains, so something to watch there as well. A lot of just big storm systems, not big snowstorm, not big severe storm, just big systems to watch over the next couple of weeks. And this is the last frame we have. So a lot of activity. Again, I've done this several times now. I'd say in these areas right here, just a lot of activity. And of course, also as we've been talking about, I can't believe it did that. If you look out areas of the western U.S., there's just a lot of snow you guys could expect out in this area. In fact, before I move on, I'm going to break the pattern of this a little bit, pull this out to the end, and then show you these areas. So this is the Western U.S., the Euro Ensemble, again, 51 members. Notice how in most of the Western U.S., except the desert areas, everywhere receives snow. This includes, obviously, the ridge tops. I mean, ridiculous amounts of snow could fall on the ridge tops. Not ridiculous for you guys, just absurd to think about. I mean, 78 inches of snow. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But everywhere receives some, even the valleys. So something to watch there. Now let's go back to where we were. So this is starting off March. This is March 1st in the morning. So we have possible severe weather in the south and just a lot of snow out west. So we also look at the GFS model starting off the same time this coming Wednesday morning, and we have a low pressure. It looks more amped up and a little bit colder as the GFS tends to do, and straddles the U.S.-Canada border. And then just after that, do we get a storm system? Yes, there's a low on the Front Range of Colorado, but it doesn't really do a whole lot with moisture. So there's kind of repeated areas of moisture in the Cumberland Plateau, areas of the southern Midwest that we have to watch for severe weather maybe. We move this out even further, and again, it kind of seems to be several days towards the middle of the month and onward where nothing really happens, but there's just several low pressures. I think the GFS kind of amps a lot of these up so that they happen, but they're all like up in Canada, for example. So something interesting. There's a low pressure, gives some snow to areas of, excuse me, areas of the Great Lakes, and then move on. This is probably our last frame. Yeah, there's some snow in the Northeast. Now you may remember from a couple videos ago, I was talking about the possibility for seeing some sort of frozen precipitation in the southern Appalachian Mountains. Well, our global model guidance, such as the Euro and GFS, haven't shown that the last couple of runs. Here's the run before, run before, run before, run before. So I mean, not really anything showing up. Seems a little bit too warm, but something to pay attention to maybe. And then what's driving this? Well, I mean, this is the 500 millibar geopotential height anomaly. So these reds that you see, this kind of orangish, if you will, this color indicates a ridge and it indicates warmer air, and the blue is the opposite. It's like that cooler air signal. So let's see here. Yeah, we'll start this out Wednesday morning as well. And as we move on here, we seem to kind of extend this blue, this cooler air, this trough. We seem to extend it into areas of the northern and north central plains. So something to watch there, although it is not reflected much by the precipitation. There still seems to be a lot of rain. So I think that these temperatures are kind of beat down from being excessively above average, but they're still not super cold. But everything goes zonal. The southern areas of the U.S. get a ridge again, and it transitions to the southeast, amplifies. And let's just take this out to the end. This is the end frame of the Euro ensemble from this morning. We have kind of a null pattern, if you will, just kind of nothing really happening, kind of zonal, maybe a little bit of troughing in this area, even though it's not showing up. These black lines would tell you otherwise. So something to watch. If you look at what the temperatures actually show, this is starting off this coming Wednesday morning as well. So we do get some below average temperatures in the northern plains. Obviously, out west is going to remain below average for a while. So we do get this. It's just not these well below average temperatures. And so, like this frame, for example, is very different from what we've been seeing the last couple of days, February 22nd. We just have kind of a not well below average, but a very large area below average temperatures for most of the U.S., except the deep south. And so we move this on. Now, even areas of the eastern U.S. cool down a little bit. So this goes to show why you look at temperatures and not just the upper air pattern, because we didn't really see that with the upper air patterns. Something interesting there. But we get warm again. Transitions to the southeast, and we look at the end frame. Everything kind of goes normal. There's a lot of white that indicates near normal or exactly normal temperatures across a lot of the U.S. Western U.S. remaining cooler, and the southeast kind of remaining warmer. So I think that is kind of going to be our predominant pattern here. Now, obviously, if I play this for you, you see a lot of red. So I think that honestly, the way I would circle it is that this area, 99% of the next few weeks will be spent warmer. This area will spend nearly 100% cooler. This area will be a battleground. And then this area will also be a battleground where we kind of go back and forth. So, some active stuff showing up. All that to say, we do have a lot to watch over the next couple of weeks for just active weather. Nothing is screaming at me right now that indicates that we need to watch it so closely or anything like that, other than this low pressure, the middle of next week. That we'll go into that more as we get closer. I can focus in on that area in future videos, but looks like it could be a decent snow for some of these areas. And obviously, the thing on our minds right now is going to be this line as it moves through. So please stay safe in areas of the Deep South through tomorrow. Uh, I haven't looked at severe reports. I'm sure there have been plenty so far. This line does not look like it's going anywhere if you put it in motion. It's been consistently just kind of tracking east. So, all that to be said, stay safe. And I will get a video out to you guys probably tomorrow afternoon into the evening. So, tune into that. And for those of you who have been consistently watching these videos over the past week or two, you guys, if you've been watching YouTube, you may know I mean, it's gotten slow. There's not a whole lot going on out there. So the viewership on almost everyone's videos that I've been watching has gone down significantly. So for those of you who have been tuning in, you guys are awesome. Thanks for watching as always, and hope you continue to do so. I love it when you guys watch and leave comments where you're watching from. That's always great to read those. So thank you again, everyone, and tune in tomorrow for a future update as I will bring you all the latest in tomorrow's video. Thank you for watching.